Now, not all herbaceous plants that you grow are going to give you flower all the time, but what else are they going to give you? Are they going to give you a lot of foliage interest through the rest of the year when they're not flowering? Hello, I'm Rosy Hardy. This is Rosy Hardy Gardening. If you enjoy our videos, please do subscribe to the channel. So I've got a selection of plants here which look wonderful just as they are, all arranged like this. But let's have a look at them individually and see what they give to you for the garden for extra length of seasonal interest. So let's start off with the Hakonechloa. This is Hakonechloa macra Aureola. Now, Hakonechloa is one of these wonderful grasses. Very, very useful grass. It's just sending up its new foliage now, so it looks really lovely, and that is a really good sign. You know, you've got a wonderful amount of grass foliage coming up here. It is two-toned. It has got wonderful green stripes and yellow stripes all the way up through, so it gives off a light, and in a darker area it looks fantastic. Now, it's only going to grow with its foliage to about a foot tall, so 30 centimeters, and then its foliage will bend over and it will blow in the breeze, so it has movement. It is a great thing. It's going to spread. It makes a lovely clump. It takes a bit of time before it gets to the point where it is fully mature, but you know, you can expect it to go to a spread at least 2 foot, which would be 60 centimeters, and that would be a lovely clump. And then you can divide up as and when you want. You can grow them in containers as well, which is great, so they're really, really useful. But it does flower, but it flowers in the autumn. What you're really growing this for is the interest of its foliage. It's going to be up in foliage right the way through, from the end of spring through summer into the autumn, and just starting to die back in the winter. So it's a really good long season of interest for a plant, and it is grown for its foliage. So this is a great candidate for long-term going. So let's stay with things which are graminoid. So this is a grass, whereas this plant here is not a grass, but it's what's known as graminoid because it has foliage which is lanceolate and like grass foliage. This is very tough, very stiff foliage on this, and this again has got two-tone, so you get a wonderful green down there and then a beautiful orange midrib on this. This is Libertia. This is Libertia peregrinans. Now, Libertia peregrinans does spread, so be aware that it is going to send off lovely young shoots like this, but it's also going to send roots like that, which are going to come up and be shoots as well. It's got another little one here, and as you can see, this is what these roots do. These roots come, rather than going along, they come up and up they come, and they're going to become a new shoot. So all of these that you can see, these lovely thick bits of root, are going to become your next lot of runners running around. Now again, it's something that takes a little bit of time to establish, but once established, it will run around and make a really good ground cover. This is a New Zealand native. And it does flower. There is an old flower spike in the centre here, so the flowers sit in amongst the actual foliage. They're little white flowers which are really lovely. So, but the main reason you're growing this is because it is evergreen, and you are going to have it looking good right the way through the year. Yes, it looks better once it starts to regrow. There'll always be a little bit of dead to cut out, but that's the same with any plant. Full sun, free draining soil, it's really happy, so it's a very, very useful thing. Foliage wise, it's going to get just under a foot, so say 25 centimeters, and then spread at least 2 foot 60 centimeters. So again, really good season of interest right the way through, and then the short period of white flowers on there, which happen late spring, early summer. Libertia peregrinans. So both of those are divisible. Then we have this wonderful one. This is an Artemisia. Now this is one of the alpines. It's not going to get huge. This is the old foliage, which I haven't cut off. I've cut off half of it so you can see what happens. So over winter, you will get this dead old foliage there. Leave it. Don't cut it back until you start to see the beautiful new spring silver foliage coming up. Then you can cut that off and you cut it back in, that's absolutely fine. And then this is just going to make a wonderful mat. It doesn't get very tall, probably about 2-3 inches in height, somewhere around about 10, maybe 15 centimeters, and then it spreads. It is a silver carpeting mat forming foliage plant. So this is coming up now. I don't mind the old stems there, that's actually fine. And then it's going to give you wonderful silver mat. It's wonderful in a gravel garden, free draining area. As soon as you see silver foliage, you know it's for a free draining site. Full sun. It does have a flower, and the flowers will be held up above, so the flowers go up. So when it does flower, it gets a little bit taller, probably to, I don't know, 20 centimeters, and the flower is quite insignificant. If you don't like it, then cut it off. There's absolutely no problem with doing that, because really you're growing this as a beautiful silver foil. It's a fabulous thing. Front of border, free draining site, and it's really wonderful. So this is Artemisia schmidtiana nana, and it's a really good season, good length of season on that one. Okay, now in my long season foliage interest plus flower, I had to incorporate a hardy geranium. I do love hardy geraniums. This one is Geranium var phaeum Samobor, and this is just putting on its flower heads here, so it's got lots and lots of flower buds in here to come. But look at that amazing foliage, look at it, isn't it beautiful? So a clump of this just sitting there without the flower is of real interest. Then it comes up into flower, it has beautiful dark burgundy geranium flowers held above it. So the foliage will sit at just under a foot, about 25 centimetres. The flowers then come up. The flowers will sit at about 18 inches, 45 centimetres. When it has finished flowering, it is a good idea to give it a reasonable haircut back. Don't just take off the flowers, just go down and take a little bit of the foliage off. Give it a water, because it'll be good, because you'll be doing it when it's probably a little bit drier. So just give it a bucket of water, it will come back up and you will get this wonderful foliage again, just creating a mound. Now the phaeum types of geraniums love to be in the shade, so this is a shade lover, so this is going to do really, really well. And you imagine having these two together, you've got this wonderful yellow of that, you've got that dark, the contrast of the foliage of the grass, the foliage of the hardy geranium just looks fabulous and really good. So in shady spots you can make it look interesting. No, you're not going to have flower all the time, but concentrate on things which give you good foliage as well as flower. I mean, this flowers for a good length of time. You get 6 to 8 weeks of flowering off this hardy geranium, but you will also get at least 9 to 10 months of foliage with this plant, so that is something else. Once you get into the later summer and the foliage is looking a bit tired again, give it another haircut. It will put more fresh foliage on, and then that will look fantastic in the autumn in that area. So you can manipulate this to have good foliage all the time. I just love the hardy geraniums. Again, you can divide that up, absolutely no problem at all. Recently I set up an email newsletter, and if you want to sign up, then please click in the comments link below or scan the QR code on the screen now. If you sign up, you get an exclusive video. This is a video of me explaining colour combinations and plant combinations in real gardens. Now, something else which a lot of people don't realise is that some of the saxifrages can go in a shady spot. So this little saxifrage is Saxifraga Monarch, and it has got these wonderful pups all the way around here, and it is just putting on its flower stem there. So this is an evergreen. It will look really good. You've got these wonderful leaves as a mound, just fantastic. I love this form. And this flower stem is going to go up, 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 and probably finish at around about there. So the flower stem on this particular one is nearly 2 foot long. I would say about 50 centimeters. Beautiful little starry white flowers with little ink spots of red in the centre, just fantastic. And then when it's finished flowering, take that flower head off and you're left with this wonderful foliage, which is just going to be a lovely cushioning mound. So it will go in a shady spot, it will go in a sunny spot. It doesn't want to be in too much full sun all the time, so part shade probably better. Most soil types, it's really not too bad, just doesn't want to be absolutely soaking wet. And then if you want to divide it up, you just take one of these pups off here and you can move it around. But Saxifraga Monarch is a really, really good form. As I say, again, really great for shady areas. So I'm going to just sort of maneuver some of these around so we can see we've got sun there, we've got shade over there. And then I just need to talk about one or two others that I've got. And let's start with this wonderful thing. Now, this is an Actaea. This is an Actaea simplex. Actaea simplex, James Compton. So James Compton doesn't get as tall as some of the other ones, probably around about my height, so around about 5 feet, 1.50 m, I would say. And it has this fabulous foliage which starts now. So you're talking about mid-spring, you start to get this fabulous ferny purple foliage, and it will just make a wonderful mound. The foliage itself, probably to a foot by about 18 inches, so 30 centimetres by 45. And then when it starts to put its flower spike on, flower spike will go straight up, a beautiful creamy perfumed flower spike on this. So this is flowering in August, September time, so you're talking about late summer, early autumn flowering for this. But before that, you will have this wonderful, beautiful foliage like this. Now, purple foliage, as I always say to you, purple foliage is like a suntan. So to keep it purple, it needs to get a good amount of sun on there. It will take part shade, and it does need to have a moister soil. So this is a really good form. So the part shade that it takes is where it's in full sun for part of the day and shade for part of the day. That will keep your purpling on here, but it does need a relatively good soil, good amount of moisture content in there to keep it going. But you know, fantastic. You're going to have this wonderful mass of purple foliage which will contrast against all sorts of other things. So if you had silver foliage against the purple, that would look fantastic. If you had slightly different shapes against the purple, you know, if you have it like that, it looks really good. So if you had those three, for instance, somewhere in a sunny part shade area, they'd be quite good. This one further out in the sun, you know, they work really well together. So this is where it's looking at what the foliage does before it flowers, giving you plenty of interest before it flowers or after it flowers. Actaea, James Compton. So as with the Artemisia, this is how this plant is left over the winter, and you can see that the new foliage is just coming through. This is Verbena Bampton, and Verbena Bampton, at this time of the year, you can take off all of this old bits of growth here, and you will then see the beauty of the foliage that is coming through. Now this foliage is going to stay quite low to start off with, and then it will go up. Now again, it's purple, it wants full sun and a relatively free draining soil, and then it will be a really happy bunny. As we could see with this one flowered at that height, so this one flowered at around about 18 inches. However, if it's in better soil, it can be a lot taller, so it just depends on where you put it. In my gravel garden, it only flowers to about 18 inches or 45 centimetres and stays as a really nice little clump. Now it can self-seed a bit. If you don't want it to self-seed, once the flowers are finished, cut the flower stems off. But in the autumn, if it's put another flowering stem up there, leave that there to overwinter with that growth at the top, and then it will come up and you get these wonderful purple shoots coming through. This is going to make a really good mat, so that is going to look fantastic. If you have these two planted together, you will get a really good contrast of silver and that purple, so that's a really good thing to look at. So always think about contrasts when you've got these things. You know, I would say those three together would look fantastic. You've got your your lovely silver, you've got your beautiful purple, and you've got this fabulous grass-like. So even as they are just like that, they make a really good collection together. So that is fantastic, and that's what you've got to think about, because you don't need any flower. That is still of interest in the garden. So I love that. So Verbena Bampton is another one. And then the last one I've got here, which will give you lots of seasoned growth, is an Alchemilla. And this is Alchemilla sericata Goldstrike. Now, sericata Goldstrike has a really beautiful foliage, and the leaves are really indented all the way around the edge there. It doesn't get as big as mollis. It's a much better form in my opinion. I mean, I love mollis, but this one I think is a really good garden form. Makes a good mound, so you can see it's coming up well now. Foliage will get to somewhere around about 20 centimetres, 8 inches. And then as a clump, it will go around a foot to maybe 15 inches. So that is somewhere between 30 and 40 centimetres as a clump. And then the flowers come up above. They're a really good flower on this. It's a really good strong colour. It's a little bit more yellow, and the contrast between the flower and the foliage is fantastic. Once it's finished flowering, give it a haircut, including taking some of the old foliage off, and then it will come back and give you a really good mound of green. So again, it's a good mounding form. It will stay looking good right the way through the season. So these are another excellent plant for putting in. This will go sun or part shade. So this is one of those ones which you can put in a halfway house. So it would go in a similar sort of situation to the purple of the actual Actaea, so you could have those in similar positions. If you wanted to just increase, if you just had 3 plants, you could have those together, these at the front and that at the back, and that would give you sun part shade, absolutely no problem whatsoever, and they would look really good together. So I think that is one way, and I think, you know, utilizing plants at this time of the year like that is brilliant. So let me just put these all together in a way where you could have them in a border, and they would look good to be able to start. So we're going to start with really sunny over this side, then we're going to go to the part shade, which will be here, and then we will go into shade this bit, and there we go. So what you've got there is just a really lovely collection all together, and remembering this is going to get taller. These are all going to flower a little bit higher up, but they will look great together. So start with sun, right there, part shade, and then into shadier over this way. I could swap that one out and put that one over there. You know, it doesn't matter. It's making things look good, and that continuity here of purple, and a bit of purple on here is really good. A little bit of orange, a little bit of yellow over here. You've only got the one silver, but there's a little bit of silver on this bit, so you have got that going through. But you could just go and say, that's my sunny bit, this is my part shade, this is my shade. All fabulous, and they will do really well for you. So think about the foliage as well as the flower, because it is important to have that structure in your borders, and then have your flower as the extra bits of that pop of colour here and there once the main bit of structure of foliage has been put in. Gives you a lot of season of interest. Thank you very much for watching, and please do subscribe to the channel. If you want to watch another video of mine, YouTube thinks this one is perfect for you.